Our first speaker of the night is Associate Professor Peng Zhang. Peng is Associate Professor within the Plant Breeding Institute and the School of Life and Environmental Sciences at the University of Sydney. She's been working on identifying new resistant sources to rust diseases from wild relatives of wheat. So, if you need someone to explain, and I definitely do, molecular cytogenetics, germplasm, or introgress, Peng is the expert, and she's going to tell us all about that and about other aspects of her fascinating work with hybrid wheat. So please give a warm welcome to Peng.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for the nice introduction. I'm very honored to be here today to share some of our research with you, and I hope you will enjoy what we are doing in the University of Sydney. And I actually borrowed partially from Alice's talk. So her talk is from paddock to platform. So I will use from paddock to dinner table. So I will talk about the paddock, and I think Alice will take the rest. So welcome to the event. I hope you all enjoy part of the talk. So as Sophie already mentioned, I work at the Plant Breeding Institute at Camden, which is about 60 kilometers southwest of Sydney, so about 1 hour drive from here. So we have a big farm to do field research, so we are really privileged. As Sophie mentioned, University of Sydney, we have done zero rust research for more than 100 years, and so we continue that legend there. So today, I will take the opportunity to talk to you about wheat, hybrid wheat, and our future proving for the global food supply. So if some of you have come from city, you may haven't seen a wheat plant before. I didn't see anything until I started to work on that. So here is the wheat spike flower. Even you haven't seen a wheat plant before, I'm sure at some stage you have consumed some form of product made of a wheat flour. So here just shows a different type of bread, and there are also biscuit, pasta, and cakes. They all use wheat flour. Of course, sometimes you can use other substitute like a rice flour and other chickpea flour and things, but wheat flour is majority and it's one of the best. So wheat is the second largest crop. Can you have a guess? What's the first largest? Rice. Yeah. So rice is the largest. The main reason is because there are more people use rice as a staple food. The population is bigger, mainly because the people in China and India, they primarily use rice as a staple food. Wheat is #1 crop in Australia. It provides 20% daily calorie and protein globally. So it is very important. So we are in a world of changing in many ways. And so we are facing a lot of challenges for producing wheat crop and also for food security. So there are many challenges. So this is the first one. The world population is increasing. The good news is when you look at this graph, shows the prediction of the world population from 2024 all the way to 2100. The graph is not always increasing. So that's the good news. But when you focus on 2050, which is only 25 years from now, you can see the world population will be increasing by 20%. So how do we feed all this population? So the arable land, unfortunately, is not increasing, and it's decreasing due to climate change and some other factors. So smarter plant breeding is our primary solution to this problem. So the other problem is very obvious. It's a climate change. So climate change is not a simple temperature steady increase. It's involve a lot of things. So I don't know how many of you have been to southwest of Sydney. This is Camden, where I work. In 2022, we have been flooded 5 times. So historically, Camden may be lucky get 1 flood every 10 years. But that year, we got flooded 5 times. This poor little petrol station, they have to be rebuilt, reopened, over and over again. And now insurance even refused to cover them because it's in the flooding zone. So this is the main street of Camden. As you can see, my house is somewhere here, so it's safe. So climate change, I think this is a good summary. It's a more severe, frequent, and a longer erratic weather is the new normal. So in other words, nobody can predict what's going to happen. So in addition to flood, we also got bushfires. 2019, we had a bushfire, very bad bushfire, which is only 16 kilometers from our institute. And we could smell it, we can see the sky, so bushfire threat is there. Here is drought. So the ground have big sinkholes. 1 year before we had a rain start from 2020, 1 year I was working in the wheat field, nearly fall into one of the sinkholes. That shows how dry the ground is. So all these factors influence in bad way of crop production. So how can we, I forgot to mention, another bad effect of climate change is not only on the yield, it's also on the nutritional value of the harvested grain. So if the nutritional value is decreased, it will influence human health and also well-being. So this is really important. And then from only the temperature point of view, I can show you the effect. If on average, only 1 degree increase during the seasonal growing season, it will cause 6% decrease in the production globally. So that can show you how big the effect is. So how do we cope with all this? We got less arable land, and we also got all these unpredictable climate change factors that can influence our crop production. So University of Sydney, our Department of Agriculture has 115 years history. So through all these years, we do world-leading research in the lab, on the farm, and also in close partnership with industry. So using traditional line breeding, if we can increase the yield by 5%, that's already very impressive. But remember what I talked about, the population increase, 20%. So this is far from enough to cover. So we need to think about some other smarter way using technology to resolve this issue. So one of the things we are working on is hybrid wheat. So hybrid wheat is a game changer for wheat production. We can actually increase the yield by 20%, sometimes even more. So this is a very promising, and we are really happy with our progress. But some of you, if you are working with plant, you may know some plant species, they are cross-pollinated. And so that can encourage the other plant to cross with this one particular plant. But wheat, over the development, evolution, and also different farmer selection, it is a self-pollinating crop, which means if you want to do hybrid wheat, self-pollination is the first barrier we need to get rid of. Only once we get rid of a self-pollinating barrier, then we can make a hybrid wheat and explore this we call hybrid vigor. So what is hybrid vigor? So if you can look at the plant on the side, these are the two parents. In the middle is the hybrid. So you can see the hybrid is much stronger, bigger, and then, of course, the cob it's much bigger as well. So we can achieve much higher yield using this way. So the two parents on the side, and then you got the hybrid in the middle. So this we call hybrid vigor. So we want to achieve this in wheat as well. So how we do that? So in our system, we are not using GMOs because there are still public acceptance issue with genetic modified organism, and also there are regulations, so we are not using that. We are using science and technology to genetically improve our wheat production. In the normal case, wheat seeds are either white colored or red colored. And in Australia, we prefer to grow white seed. And so white seeds normally, they are fertile. However, in our system, we create a deletion. So an important part of the chromosome is missing in this system. So the white seed itself, it can't pollinate itself. Then we introduce an extra chromosome. It has a blue gene and the fertility gene on the same chromosome. So whenever we have a blue seed, I don't know whether you can see that, that's fertile. And if we have white seeds, it's sterile. So how we use this system, we grow the blue seeds out, 75% of the chance, this is through genetic study, will give us a white seeds. And these white seeds, because they're sterile, they can be used for hybrid production. Another 25% of the chance, they produce blue seeds. And these blue seeds, we can use for the system maintenance. So this is basically our system. We don't use dangerous chemicals that will influence the environment. We don't use GMO, so our system is using genetics. So it's really safe and nice to use. The impact and the vision of our work is to use this hybrid wheat to be a game changer in wheat production so that we can achieve higher yield and then we can get a more resilient crop that can adapt to different target climate and regions. So another exciting news, we are really excited because our first hybrid wheat, I think will be in the market in the next 1 or 2 years. So stay tuned. Thank you.